Welcome back to another episode of the Casey Campbell Podcast. Casey Campbell with you, of course, and we are pleased to be joined by someone that's been very busy and making some announcements in the past few days. Of course, that's Ryan Vargas. Yes, of course, the last few days, of course, you made an announcement that you're going to be doing some truck racing with the On Point Motorsports, about 7 to 8 races in 2023, driving the 30 truck. And then you announced that you're going to be going to CHK Racing, which of course used to be Mike Harmon Racing. Of course, Michael Clayton Sr. and Gary Keller joined the team this year as partners. So you're going to be the anchor driver of the 74 car in the Xfinity series. So Ryan, what's it feel like I know you've been teasing a lot of this, but this is how exciting is it to get all this announced?
Oh, it's fantastic. This has been a big process in the making for the last few weeks. This off season has been crazy, been very busy, all for good reasons. And it's just been good. I've been going at my own pace, been building all these things up, been able to carry along all my partners with me, and so it's been a fun opportunity to look at what's ahead. On the truck side and on the Xfinity side.
Yeah, so let's talk about the truck side first, since you made that announcement first. How did that get put together? Who contacted? I know you're always on the phone talking to people. How'd you get to Stephen Lane?
Yeah, so I mean, really just going through the off season, I kind of went into the off season thinking, okay, let's look at Xfinity, that's like my main focus. And then as I looked at what we were doing and figured kind of like looking at everything, I said, why don't I just do a truck schedule? Why don't I hop into a competitive race truck and do that? So talked with some teams, got in touch with Bones, and from there we just put our deal together, started pinpointing which races were important to myself and my sponsors. And we put ourselves together a really good schedule that I think is going to be good for my driving style, but also good for my partners to build a campaign around. So it's going to be a lot of fun. I've never done any truck racing, so it's going to be exciting, but that's the most exciting part, is that I haven't done truck racing. And there's no better place to do it than a competitive team in On Point.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, we saw what that team could do, and you're in a few races, and actually, you're going to be at one of my races scheduled this year. Of course, how excited are you to? Have you been to Mid Ohio? Have you done that?
Yep, I ran Mid Ohio back in 2021. We finished 18th, I believe, there. So it was a pretty good day for us. So I love the circuit. It's a fantastic road course. And when I saw that was a race that was available for me, I was like, it was almost a no-brainer. I had to do it. So I have some fantastic partners that are, wanting to jump on board for that race, sort of finalizing all those little details. But it's been a fantastic process just putting this all together. In Mid Ohio, like I said, that's one of my favorite circuits that I've driven on. So excited to go back.
For sure. Yeah, and of course, you're going to do a lot of other races. I know how. I think you told Dustin Albino that you want to do Bristol Dirt.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
What makes you want to do dirt racing?
Because it looks awesome. It looks fun. It looks goofy. I want to do it. It's just like it's not like any other dirt race. You don't drive a NASCAR stock car or stock truck, or you could say, like you would a dirt modified or a dirt late model or anything like that. It's its own beast. So I mean, yeah, guys will bring dirt ringers in, and they'll occasionally do pretty well. Like you saw Buddy Kofoid this year, he did very well. But a lot of times the dirt guys don't even do that great. It's usually the pavement guys that do good. So to me, I look at it as an opportunity for me to do something I've never done, and that's race on dirt.
Yeah. So let's talk about the Xfinity stuff that you're doing. This team made a lot of changes since the last time you drove for them. Of course, bringing on some partners. They're really changing a few things over there. And from what I've been told, it looks like they're trying to do some big things for this Xfinity Series season. How did this get put together?
Yeah, I mean, I've had a great relationship with Mike Harmon since my first endeavor working with them in Portland, and we've just been in touch throughout the year. We've continued touching base with each other. I have a lot of respect for him and what he's done so far. He's been in the sport for many many years, and then obviously Gary Keller and Mike Clayton. For them to really give that team the shot in the arm that they need, I think it's the sky's the limit for what they can do. I'm very excited for for what's possible. So it's going to be it's going to be really really exciting to see what we can build within that shop there.
Yeah. So when you go over there and in talking about there, you said you're going to be in a majority of the races. Obviously, it's not been established which races that you'll be in, but what's it going to be like just knowing that you're going to be the majority of the races this season for in Xfinity?
Well, I mean, for me, it's just a great opportunity. I get to run at one of the highest echelons of stock car racing in North America. I mean, you can't complain with that, and it's going to be a fantastic opportunity. I'm excited to work with all those guys. They're determined to make that team, competitive and get back up towards the front. And you know, with everything that's going on, I believe that they can get there. It's just going to take a lot of work, but I'm excited for my role there. I'll be driving, but I'll also be helping with the development side, working internally, with the organizational process as well as, any media or marketing that they may need. So it's definitely a team effort for sure, but I'm very excited about it because like I said, it's just a great opportunity at one of the sport's highest levels. And all it's going to do is just add more for me to look at. I don't want to be just a driver because you can't just be a driver nowadays. You have to be well versed in many areas. And so the opportunity that Mike Harmon, Gary, and Mike Clayton have presented me and, what we've been able to do, I'm very excited.
Yeah. I mean, you have to be. Look at Parker Kligerman. He's on
Yep,
television. So
exactly.
I've always wanted to ask you this. If you ever wanted to do TV?
I've wanted to do TV. That's actually one of the other projects I'm really much working on this year is trying to do some television stuff and have opportunities to be behind a microphone when I'm not in the race car. And you know, I, this year for me is all over the board. I don't want this year for me to be where I'm sitting at a desk stressing out. I want to be able to go out, build these programs, build my sponsorship programs, build the teams that I'm at, whether it's with whether it's with On Point, CHK, whether I'm doing something, road racing, whether it's something else. I want to do. I want to expand my reach as a driver because to me, this is the year of real, growth and reimagination. So I couldn't be more thrilled.
Yeah, the thing is, it's like remember, racing's only a chance. You just have with that the areas that you're doing in marketing and all that stuff. I know that's always interested you. What about that area has interested you so much in that?
I mean, for me, I love talking about cars. I love telling stories. I love talking about what I see on the racetrack and giving my thoughts and opinions on how these guys race. I mean, I've been fortunate now to have 67, I think it is, Xfinity races under my belt, ran K&N, late models, everything up through the ladder. I understand how the racing goes. And so I feel like if I'm able to, give my 2 cents on things and, analyze whatever's going on for the common viewers or even people who don't know much about racing, maybe we can help bring more fans into the sport. So that's what I want to do. I want to have more of an impact on besides, driving.
Yeah. Um, and just with that, it's you know, in the marketing world out there, it's being a for a lot of people that don't know. I mean, race car driving is not all about racing. You have you reaching out to sponsors. You're talking to, you're making appearances, you're doing interviews just like this. There's so much more to being a race car driver than just driving the car. Obviously, that's a huge component in that, and learning all the nuances of that. But what other thing? What's it like to just be well versed in so many different areas?
Yeah, I mean, basically what does is it adds stock to you as a name, as a driver, as an asset. When I go into a race shop, I want to be able to, make an impact. And so if I'm able to go somewhere and put stock in and, and see the value of my name, I think that carries a lot more weight than just what you can do inside of a race car.
Right. Um, really going in there, going into Daytona, it's going to be a fun season. We know in Xfinity and really even in trucks, just how competitive both those series are going to be, as well as the Cup Series. What's it going to be like running two series and something This is like, you're trying a bunch of new things. And how do you think this year's going to go for you? If you can, what are you going to expect?
I expect better performances. I expect to continue to grow the CHK organization. I look forward to joining On Point and helping bolster their program and trying to help them anywhere that I can as well. And just like I said earlier, just expanding my reach, trying to do more within the industry and trying to learn more about myself, and also make a focus on myself. Put myself first in situations and, you know, begin to grow both as a athlete and as a, person.
Yeah. How do you feel like, we've all been following, the last, the few years of that you've been on in this racing journey. What has all this kind of taught you about yourself?
I mean, it's just taught me that I need to start, that I need to, you know, that none of this comes easy. You have to work tirelessly at this stuff. It is a consistent grind to try and get where you need to be. But you also need to learn to take time for yourself and time for your personal life outside of it. And that's something that I've put a big value on in the last 4 or 5 months, because I feel like I definitely lost track of that. So this whole off season has been a very stressful in a good way. It's been a good type of stress. I've been able to build a fantastic program, both on the truck and Xfinity side, but I've also been able to take a step back and look at what I'm doing personally and work on that and see what opportunities I can do as a person to try and grow. Because if I could change what goes on here, I can positively impact what goes on at the race shop or on the racetrack.
All right. Well, Ryan Vargas, thank you so much for coming on and talking with us. And best of luck to all your opportunities in 2023. And there might be more. I don't know.
Oh yeah. Yeah, exactly. No, I'm excited. Thank you for having me.